Hello guys, hello guys. I'm Nitin Malim. Uh, I we will start. We will go through today with our lab setup. Then we will set up the vCenter and ESXi. Then VM. We will create VM, and how we can map the shared data store to ESXi server through OpenFiler freeware storage software. So this is my lab. This is this is my lab and uh, lab setup. I set up lab on VMware workstation. So this is my vCenter. I already set up few of servers, that is ESXi, two ESXi servers and one filer. So I will start first ESXi server. Then I will start OpenFiler. I suppose to start OpenFiler first because if I have mapped data store to the ESXi server, and if I am starting ESXi server first before OpenFiler, then those data store will be it will start scanning for data store, and until this OpenFiler is not up, those the ESXi server uh, will search till it this filer is getting up. So that's why we wanted to we have to start this open filer first, then ESXi server. Okay, the ESXi open filer is up now. Then we will see the status show. Okay, so still these two are not started yet, so there will not be any problem. Sometimes if the ESX server it is not getting any data store and it is started searching or scanning frequently, then the ESX server will get into the non-responding state, or it will stuck somewhere at stage where the scanning process will start, and it will get more time to up. So sometimes when we do the patching, that time we disable the EMC path. So that's the reason we need to disable the EMC path before we do the patching of ESXi server and getting into the maintenance mode. Okay, so these three servers are up now. So I will start the vCenter. We will do the practice today on legacy infrastructure, that is yes that is 2000 that is ESXi 5.0, ESXi 5.0 and vCenter 5.5. So it is starting it is starting the have JD daemon, then all the in this way it is starting. So just like we will see, uh, it will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes. Still it don't have much database, so it will start immediately. I have 8 GB of RAM for this vCenter 2 processor. This is the completely default setting of hard disk because I deploy the OVA file here, and one NIC I have set up in NAT process as a network connection as a NAT. It is just starting the inventory service now. So I will show the where it will get the IP address. Here I have set up the IP address setting, that is I should get the IP address from this range 128 to 170. This IP address will get allocated into the this my lab. So even if I create on VM create VM on ESX server, that VM should will get the IP address from this pool only. So this is a workstation DHCP pool where we have set the NAT setting for every VMs which will get created into this workstation. So I have these are the old setup I have. This is orchestrator, UCS manager, simulator also. I will uh, provide you some UCS simulator practices. This is storage Celera simulator. Then this is I think the test VM I created. This is VRO new. This was 6.0. This is 7.4. This is my old AD server, Active Directory. This is newly I created VRO. This is newly created Active Directory, and this I created for practice purpose 2K8 clients where I will go into the rather than I will use my desktop space. I will go on this server. I will check the connectivity. If I want to do the any ESXi related tasks, I have to go into the ESXi through the WinSAP and download the some logs. I will go into this server only. Sometimes to download some mm, patches or some I have to use this server through on internet where I can download everything into this server. That is just like jump server we can say. This is VRA, virtualized automation appliance, that is I have. So okay, so this is my complete lab. I had a few more servers, but those I have deleted because I am starting completely. This is completely the new lab I am creating. So you will see the this is 16/9/2019 I created. So almost 1 year this has this was created. So just like recently I'm creating new labs, you will get the more exposure on that. Yeah, so just now vCenters is up, so let it start its services in few 2-3 minutes. We will give the 2-3 minutes to start its services completely, and then we will access it. So we will have uh, uh, the complete GUI of this tool. I will access the Google Chrome. Okay, I'm just starting the OpenFiler login. When we download any OpenFiler, you will have the default password, default credential, that is OpenFiler, and password is password. We will log in there. Okay, so uh, this is complete the infrastructure of OpenFiler where I have added one 20 GB of extra shared drive. So I will show you that. See here. This 8 and 30 GB is by default through the OVA, and this 20 GB is extra drive that I have added for shared drive. So it is appearing here. Okay, so yeah, meantime we can create the same drive. Yeah, sure, we will wait for this. uh, yeah, I think the services should be up now. So just log in here. This is default credential, default, not default, this is default user credential that I have set here. I will put. This is more to basic of vCenter and ESXi day-to-day operations you can perform on these uh, servers. Okay, so I was working on this. I kept this ES6i host into maintenance mode. Currently, this VM on this 192.168, 119, 145. So that error was ignorable. So I just cancel it on 145 this VM. So what I will do, I will just first I will take this host out of maintenance mode. So maintenance mode means when we have to perform any activity on ESXi host, that time we need to take that host into the maintenance mode so that no VM will migrate on that ESXi host, and we can perform any activity as much as we require time, uh, and like patching, or we have to change any ESXi settings, or any issue with that ESXi host is hardware issue or something networking issue or related to physical NIC. So that will not impact your VM. VM is a end user VM, so that should not impact any time. So that's why we took that ESXi host into the maintenance mode, and then we perform any task or any activity on that server. Okay, so this is VM that we wanted to power on. I just click on power on. We go into VM, click on VM, right click and power on. Okay, we will go through these options later on, but currently I just want to show you how that shared storage will work here. Okay, we will take the console of this VM here. It is starting up. I think it has 151 IP address, so I will ping here 151 IP address. It's supposed to show there. 151. So it is pinging. It will ping its name. Okay, so I have give. This is VM1 server. Sorry, VM1 name of that VM computer name, and this is IP address which I given. This VMware tool is already installed in this VM. So just like I configure this VM. Now that VM is up completely, we can see the log. We can see the desktop of this VM. Okay. So see, uh, what we did here. This one ESXi server. This one is another ESXi server. So we will see this has two data store. One is DS1807 and data store 1. Okay, and in summary for 149 DS1 bracket 1 DS1807. So 1807 is a common one. Okay, you can see here also 1807 DS1807 is a common one. So what we have done here, what this is, if you see here, this is 20 GB data store. This one 20 GB data store. So we created that in here. We created here the 20 GB and we allocate to the ESXi server. So we will see that same practical now here. How we will do that? See, first of all, we have to allocate 20 GB into the open filer. Okay, go in add button to hardware, to add hardware, hard disks, next, 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 and rather than 20 GB, we will see 10 GB. 10 GB is sufficient, or 12 GB. Okay, so because we have to move that VM, this VM into the, we have to move that VM into the shared storage. This is 8 GB, so 10 GB is sufficient. So 10 GB we will allocate. Okay, okay. Hmm. Okay, so now we will see space is available or not. We have to just select here add volume. Currently we don't have any space available yet. Okay, this is available here now. Okay, 10 GB, 10 GB is available. Okay, so now we will create the volume group first. Okay, this 10 GB we will use. We just confirm that 10 GB already allocated here. Okay, then click on that 8, because we are not seeing any partition here, right? See, the partition should be 1 at least. Okay, so we will create the partition now. Sorry, now partition is created. One partition we can see, this 10 GB, name is SDDD1. Okay, that is, no, this is not the required thing here, because this will not be visible to ESXi server until we are not adding it as a NFS. So we are currently adding as a only iSCSI. Okay, so this one is already there. This one is this target IQN 3CB7, that is already I have configured. If you go on to the configuration tab, networking, sorry, storage adapter, here go into the properties, dynamic, and this one. So I already configured this iSCSI target here. Okay, so that is 150. This one is a 150 server. This one 150 server. I already configured in this iSCSI initiator of ESXi. Both ESXi I have configured. So this is one is 149. This one is 20 GB, not the 10 GB. Yet it is not it pop up here. So it is not showing here. So I will go into the this one. I will show you the sorry dynamic discovery, and this see this here it is configured. So both server having the iSCSI initiator. So now what we will do, go into the storage and see if it is I can see here or not. I have okay, if it is not yet pop up. So thing is that we have not done some part here, so that's why it is not showing. So go into the volumes and then iSCSI target, learn mapping, okay, target, volume, add volume, block devices, manage volume, okay. So this volume is not, I created all these volume groups, but it is not showing there. Okay, so I will all I will add as a virtual volume groups 9 volume groups. Okay, so this is added today's date volume group. Okay, we need to give here the name, just change the date only. I given the NI 1907-2020. Then volume description will be same, iSCSI only. I am giving iSCSI, required space, then iSCSI. So this will allocate as a volume at the, if you want to create this volume as a complete space of 10 GB, or we have to allocate as a 5 GB in part, in small partition. So it is required space. So I given this one as a space completely 10 GB, so it is showing 10 GB, and this will be the file system as a iSCSI. I given this name here. So as like this volume group 8107, this one 1907, it will show as a 10 GB now with name NI 19072020. Okay, I'm just creating it. So this volume is created. Now if we go on showing here, right? Both. So okay, so now it is visible. System, we have already configured the what type of network is supposed to accessible from this open filer. So we have this subnet and this network ID. Okay, so this from 192.168.119.1 to 255, all host will get access, all host will get accessible to these volumes, all volumes which are created in this open filer. Okay, so now we will go into the vSphere and we will refresh. We will rescan once. We will see if it is visible now. No, we will rescan. We will rescan the data store, so it will check if any volume is available at its storage adapter. No, we have to go into the storage adapter here. Okay, we will rescan the storage adapter. We have added this storage adapter VM HBA33 software adapter as software adapter, where we have configured this dynamic discovery, where we have given the IP address of that open filer. So through this adapter only it will communicate to the open filer. So we have to refresh and rescans one once this adapter, still it is not showing. Okay, something problematic, we need to check. Let me check anything we can do here. Let me rescan one more time. No luck. Okay, so let's come to the open filer and see what is happening here. Anything missing? We added free space in use, not applicable. Okay, volume group, all PVs are used, everything is we configured here. Also CPU, no, we will go on the block devices. Let's see, this one also accessible. Then we did this already. Okay, then ISRG target. Let's see, come here on this EVSphere. The iSCSI name is 3104A. See here 31. No, it's different. I'm adding this also. Update. Okay, rescans once. Let's go into properties, discoveries, setting, close. Okay, 2 is added. Static. The static, the 2 are added already here. This one is latest one we added. Let's see now. Just rescans one. No, nothing is happening. So let me re-verify. Anything I am missing? Oh, map, map. Okay, this should be that. Okay, I did some setting. Now let's see. Yeah, it's showing now. I think we missed to map that learn mapping here. Okay, so now it is showing here as a 10 GB. Yeah, 10 GB. So go on storage, add storage. Okay, this 10 GB is available. Now we can add it as data store. Next, DS1907. Enter the name of data store, that is I put DS1907. Next, maximum space we have to, so here is maximum space we have to allocate, or we have to keep some space for later use. So I'm uh, giving the complete space here. Finish, refresh. Okay, this one is got added. Then we have this one, data store. Let's see, let's refresh this. It will get added here also. Let me scan. Yeah, it got added here. Now, sorry. Now see, this VM is on DS1807. Okay, so we will move this to newly added data store, that is 19 DS1907. So let's see, concentrate here now. So click on VM, right click on VM, migrate. Then no, don't change the host, only the data store. Okay, then 1907. If we go into the advanced, we have option. Okay, we have option to select. So I will select my configuration file, that is VMX file. Later on, we will go to the configuration file. What are the type files are available for particular VM? So I click on DS1907, then DS1907. Okay, so these two I have added and done. Finish. We did the finish, and then now it is migrating. So it will show as a one DS1907. So this was not purpose to create a data shared data store. Uh, Shared data store is used to migrate VM from one ESXi host to another. And till this VM is getting migrated to one data store to another, that is SV motion, we will go through the some features of this cluster. Okay, to vMotion one VM from one host to another host, we need that data store. This vSphere DRS should be enabled to migrate the VM from one host to another. Suppose we have turned off this data store, what will happen? So that we will see now here. So I will just turn off this DRS and then we will see. Let's finish this 38% of SV motion, then we will do that next part. Meanwhile, I will walk through the turn on vSphere HA. So what is use of vSphere HA? vSphere HA is not for SV motion or V motion. It will be useful when we require the high availability. So high availability, that means the HA. So when we required this HA feature, so just like one host have the 100 VMs, and that host having some hardware issue or some other issue where that host is uninterruptedly getting down, or it because of some power outage or some hardware issue, some network issue, data store issue, that host become unresponding, not responding state. So in that case, the your VMs on that host will get migrated, not the migrated, the migrated word is wrong. The VMs from that host will get rebooted to another healthy ESXi host. Means your VMs will get unregistered from one ESXi host. It will reboot the, it will search for the healthy host on another healthy host within the cluster, and that VM will get registered to that particular ESXi host, healthy ESXi host, and power on that particular healthy host. So that is the four process in within this vSphere HA. But vSphere HA, if this vSphere HA is enabled, then and then only this process will happen. Otherwise, all VMs will get into the non-responding state, orphan state, inaccessible state in that failure host only. So what are those four steps? One, once the host is in failure state, the VM will get power off on that host, then unregister from that host, failure host, power off from failure host, unregister from failure host, register to the healthy host within cluster, and power on the healthy host within cluster. The register and the power on both hosts are will be the same host. Okay, that is the vSphere HA. And what is the vSphere DRS? So vSphere DRS is used to manage your resources. So suppose we will have the DRS like CPU memory utilization or storage utilization. Storage utilization is a different DRS, that is called as storage DRS. But CPU and memory having this feature only, whispered DRS. For storage DRS we configure the storage cluster, on that we configure the storage DRS. But in CPU memory related we configure on the cluster level. The normal cluster is different and storage cluster is different, keep in mind. So when the resources that is CPU and memory are getting utilized, more utilized, high utilized on particular ESXi host, then either one, memory or CPU, then the VMs will get vMotion or lively migrated without downtime to another healthy ESXi host. There will not be any downtime, okay, 0% downtime. But in HA there will be a downtime of powering off and unregister the VM from one failure host to another healthy, register and power on the host on healthy host. That the period between these four process will take the downtime for vSphere on vSphere HA. Okay, good. So we are done with this migration svMotion within data store. So now this VM is on 145, that is this host and this host, right? This host 145. So we will do the live migration here, manual live migration. This is called as live migration, manual live migration 145. There is no any error here, this should be successful. Then and then only you can do the vMotion. Next, and finish. We have to select the destination host only here. Okay, so see, the migration is completed. Second, because why this has happened, because we have this DS1907 and DS1907 at both end here, 1907, that's why it happened. Now what we will do, we will took this host into the maintenance mode where this VM is register. So what it will happen, it will automatically migrate this VM to another 145, okay, 119.145 ESXi host. Now it is on 119.149. So I will just do the one manual failure, that is we will keep this host into the maintenance mode. So that we can consider as we are doing some maintenance activity, and in that case it should, that VM from this host should lively migrate to another ESXi host, without any downtime. Okay, so I'm just keeping this host into maintenance mode. Here it is asking move power up and suspended VM to another host. Yes, we need to do that, because in hardware failure, if this host is not came back, we need to do the further activity to move this power up and suspended VM on another ESXi host until that host is not getting up. So in that case we will do prior to any high failure. Okay, so I just clicking on this, I'm keeping this tick mark as it is and clicking on yes button. So it is just giving a warning that one or more virtual solution may need to be migrated to another host in cluster or power off before requested operation can proceed. Yeah, this means the power off the maintenance mode task will happen after the migrating all the VMs to another ESXi host. So I'm just keeping nothing, I'm clicking here, this will show as an don't show this message again. So I am clicking OK. Migration is completed, host into the maintenance mode. Now the whole VM on the 145, right? See, this way the we can do the complete migration activity, maintenance activity using our infrastructure. So okay friends, so we will stop here for today. uh, so whatever you are feeling, whatever you are thinking about this video, and whatever you wanted to um, get knowledge from me, then you can type your thoughts into the comment box. Also, if you like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.